let's say I'm in a medical transportation company, okay, in Southern California, non-emergency medical transportation company in Southern California, and then two more people, two more companies, spike up or whatever. So I mean, I have to find a niche. Well, the first company will have to change to find a niche and to change that company so it can be more competitive. Investor and stakeholders demands. All this is investors and stakeholders. They want improved performance for improved performance and returns, so they can get rich quick. They want their money. So a company might have to change the way they go about marketing, or they have to change the way they go about things to meet that demand. Globalization. I like this one because companies are more global now, with cheaper labor and abroad, different regulations. Just like I know in the United States, or like scientifically, in the United States, they don't allow you to test on humans.
Thank heavens.
No. Other countries, they don't care. So companies go to that country and get human guinea pigs, and test the product out. Changing the nature of the workforce. Globalization leads to greater workforce diversity, different values, expectations, and communication. So, I mean, you have to be, just like in the military. I'll say this: in the military, they have, we had a diverse pool of ethnicities. If that sounds right. Okay. So, I mean, you have to be able to communicate with people. You have to be able to be sensitive to other people's values and morals as well. So that the military is the best way I can describe the changing nature of the workforce, because everybody is working together for a common goal. So it's not something like, okay, well you're black, well I'm black and you're white, so you're gonna do, I'm gonna do everything you say, because that's how America was founded. There's nothing like that. Everybody is, on a level playing field. Everybody understand each other, and we get the work done. Oh, excuse me. Technology is a big one, because technology is always it's always changing, and it's getting better. I think it's making the workplace a lot better, because you get your information faster. You can look up whatever. I had a Steve Jobs clip on here.
Brownie points.
I couldn't figure out how to put it in my presentation. So, but he talks about that. Technology is, I think and I believe him when he says technology brings everybody together, because everybody's striving to have the best stuff out there. Everybody's working together in a common goal, to have the Apple is working to be like Samsung. I mean, especially with the iPhones and stuff, and it looks like the Note. Anyway, that's my caveat.
Didn't the Note get rid of the removable battery and storage? Oh yeah, that's just like that.
Actually, the Note battery. I think whatever. I don't know. Okay, legal regulations. Like I alluded to earlier, different countries have different sets of regulations. Just like in the United States, we have, well, it's the, excuse me, it's the, okay. It is a paradox that as businesses act globally and require flexibility in order to respond to the challenges of all local and global marketplace, they are faced with an increasingly level of legal interventions and regulations, i.e. the Sarbanes-Oxley Act in the U.S.
Sarbanes-Oxley.
Sarbanes-Oxley.
SAROX for short.
Thank you, Mr. Griff.
You got it.
So, but like I said earlier, I think it's India. If I'm not mistaken, India has no law on human testing. That's why Abbott Laboratories is over there. Abbott Laboratories is a major medical research facility. They have one of the largest medical research facilities in India over there. Because, you know, India just was like, we'll go with it. And societal changes. Societal changes, border societal developments can lead to significant pressures on organizations to change their business practices and ways of working. Any questions so far? Okay. Types of change: developmental, transitional, transformational, episodic, and continuous. Did I say that right? Episodic?
I think you just misspelled it, but yeah.
Oh, that's how it was
If
spelled.
it's episodic.
I'm missing
Episodic?
I'm missing an I. I apologize.
That's all right. Thanks for pointing it out.
Okay. I'm honest. Roll Tide. Okay, so. Oh, wait a minute. Do I have? No. Okay, so developmental change can be either planned or emergent. Tends to be incremental. Transitional, intended to achieve a known desired state that is different from the existing one. Okay, transformational, sustainable sustainable in nature and requires a shift in assumptions made by an organization and its stakeholders. Episodic change tends to be infrequent, discontinuous, and intentional. I can't read my handwriting. Sorry about that. It was late last night. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Continuous change, ongoing, evolving, and
Communicative?
Yes. Yes. I can't say that word.
Communicative.
Communicative. Okay.
There you go.
The principles of whatever. The principle of continuous change and the principles of continuous change and I can't write wrong. Okay. Indenture, the flexibility to accommodate and experiment with everyday content. Okay. I can't read this right now. I will get back to you on this.
All right.
I will get back to you on that.
I don't think continuous is in the article.
Continuous is in the article.
Okay.
I got it from in the article. Okay. Okay. Some reasons. Some reasons why companies resist the change. Okay. When the first reason is when the reason for the change is unclear. So it's like, okay, if Mr. Greer, it's just like Mr. Greer told me yesterday, you're presenting presenting tomorrow. I was like, I thought we was presenting Thursday. All right, you know, all right. But it was clear, or if he would have been like, well, you have an option of presenting tomorrow or Thursday, and then I came in here today and he was like, well, you're presenting today.
Well, you said you were going to present today.
Well, like, an example.
All right. You got it. I apologize.
Dang, okay. Okay, all right. When those impacted by the change have not been consulted about the change, and it is offered to them as a flat accompli. No,
I don't see the flat part up there.
no, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Offered to them. Period.
There's a fiat. Yeah, accompli. Yeah. When those impacted by the change have not been consulted about the change and it is offered to them as a fiat accompli. Like you're going to do this.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's a Latin term or something like that.
Yeah, I was confused about that one too.
Sorry.
I was like, I'll speak English.
They're being dictated
This
to.
is
So they're
America.
being resistant because they're being dictated to.
Okay. No, I mean, in my leadership style, I'm a little bit of a dictator too. I mean, that's how I was groomed to be. So I'm like, okay, this is what it is. This is what we're doing. This is what you're doing, and you can shut up about it. Shut up and get it done first, and then you can come talk to me. But hopefully, you don't need to come talk to me because we got the job done. I'm more of a I like to produce results. If it's done, then I'll get it done by any means. And I don't like to be dictated to. So if I tell my guys to do something, I don't.
There wouldn't be girls involved?
Well, I tell my guys or girls.
I'm just curious. I want to know if you're a misogynist.
Because I've had females work for me, but you know they.
That's right. You don't need to say anything else beyond that. We don't want to get you in trouble.
Yes.
Stop while your head, right?
You know, females are. You know, hey, hi girl. All right. However, okay. Okay. Well.
I'm trying to throw some grapes.
Okay. I'll eat them.
They're going to be sour.
Next reason is when change threatens to modify established patterns of working relationships between people. And I have to go back with the military with this. You know, when you have, you know, when you know you're friends with somebody that's you know at your job, and you know in the Navy anyway, we have to take tests to get promoted or whatever. And let's say you get promoted, well I get promoted and my friend doesn't. Now I'm at an increased level of responsibility, and he's still at the same level. So I'm over him now, and you have to be more professional about that, and you have to.
Interesting.
Yeah. The dynamic of your relationship has changed. Well, the relationship has changed because now you're over him now. Well, I'm over him now. So it's like, okay, all right. I mean, we're friends and everything, but in business, like Mr. Gore said yesterday, it's you got to remove all that. Pretty much, this is business. It's not personal. To remove all that personal stuff. Get your work done, and let's go. Okay. Do I have another slide about it? Yes, I do. When benefits and rewards for making the change are seen as adequate for the trouble involved. I don't like that one because, well, it goes back to, you know, okay, we have to change, but it's gonna benefit everybody. But right now, you just got to deal with it. It's gonna, you know, but.
Well, what if it's better for the organization to reorganize, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to consolidate these two departments under one, So you're going to lose one vice president, and they're going to have to become like an associate vice president, let's just say, or just a director at that point, right? I mean, that could be what it's talking about. It threatens your job, your power. What if they're just that change means you lose your job?
Well, then in that instance, is again, I'm thinking as purely business. Like, okay, no one person.
But you don't see that there would be a resistance.
Well, there will be a resistance. However, but
especially if that person's powerful, they're going to probably fight tooth and nail to stop that from happening.
They are. I would expect that. However, you're not going to lose. I mean, you're going to lose because no one person is bigger than a business.
But I think that the reason there's a resistance, and I'm not trying to belabor the point, but I think there's a reason that there's a resistance to that is that the author here is just trying to explain that can be one of the things. And even though your theory is that not one person's bigger than the business, maybe that person's ability to influence the business is bigger, which resists the change because you're attacking them personally, so to speak. So I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying I think the author is trying to explain that's one of the reasons that change doesn't happen sometimes.
Okay. I agree with that, Mr. Greer. But then again, too, for me, I don't think it's going to be a resistance, but it's going to happen regardless.
Well, but it's not.
Well, it has to happen.
Well, let's just say, for instance, someone came to me and said, you know what we're going to do is we're going to take away laptops from all the students in our school. We're not going to give laptops. Oh, I'm going to throw up hell's bells. I'm going to go get Mr. Pileggi to sign off and say we're giving out laptops at our school.
Mm-hmm.
Or, and because of my position and my power, maybe I can do that, maybe I can't. But if I was to say that, there's a number of things, but I think the author is just saying that there are people in positions that will resist change based upon their perceived threat.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you're not threatening them, they perceive threat because it's different and it's not what it used to be. And so you have to be aware of that and realize that that is a reality in anything. Anytime you go from the status quo, like even in the military, I'm sure you were doing something the same way and then a new directive comes down and you're like, okay, now we got this. Everybody's like, oh man, the old way was so much better. It's just naturally going to be the default. Even though the new way could be totally better, we just don't have that lens to look through yet. We don't know why they've decided. They didn't explain it to us. So I think the author is going to get to the point of we need to articulate how to overcome that is to communicate and to let people know how this is going to work and what's going to happen instead of just dictating you're going to do it this way now.
I'm seeing it through a dictator, which I'm actively changing. I'm actively changing.
You dictator.
I know. Okay, and finally, when change threatens jobs, power, and status within the organization, that's what Mr. Greer was talking about. Now, I don't condone, our economy is down. Well, it's building back up a little bit. But it's down, so I don't condone businesses, shutting down and terminating jobs and just adding on to the problem. That's a problem, and many businesses have the same mind frame. Well, has that dictator mind frame, like, okay, well, we're not working, so we're not producing this. We're not garnering any additional revenue. So
HP just they're laying off 30,000 people the next 2 months.
And just like Abbott Laboratory, they're laying off 10,000 people. I'm like, okay, really? Okay.
I'm not trying to speed you up, but you're at 30 minutes right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus, I still have another page. Okay, all right. So
I just thought I'd make you aware of it.
God, dog, I didn't know it was. Oh,
it's all right.
Okay. All right. So what have been learned from working with organizations, change failure, allowing too much complacency can garner in failure to change, failure to find champions as work champions, as you know, your go-to guys. Understanding.
I think
that,
what they mean by champions is people that agree with the change. So if you don't find people that are champions of the cause that go out there and actually fight for it, and we didn't watch the first follower yet, did we? Have
yes, we did. Yes, we did.
The dance thing.
Yes.
Yeah, finding that first follower is so important because those are the champions. Those are the ones that come out and do your stuff. Yeah.
This is hard.
It's all right.
This is hard, man.
I mean, it was a big article.
It's hard. Okay, understanding the power of the vision, underestimating the power of the vision. So people like second guess you, like it might work, you know. Under communicating the vision, leaders giving you a little bit like, okay, all right, this is where we're going, but I'm not going to tell you how we're going to get there. Allowing obstacles to block the new vision. Okay, we don't have any money. Well, we can't move forward. Guess we're going to stick with the old stuff. All right, failure.
Oh, wait, can you go back one more?
Okay.
So I have a friend who he was talking to me one day because I was giving him a pep talk about how to fix his life because he's down in the dumps. And he said that the thing that he didn't have that he thought I had was the ability to see a roadblock. And when he sees a roadblock, he runs into the roadblock and stops right there. He goes, what I've seen you do is you always go over the roadblock or around the roadblock, or you move the roadblock, or you blow it up with a ray gun. He's like, I don't get how you do that all the time, because something will come up as a block and you're like, oh, well, we'll get around it. And to him, that was debilitating. And so a lot of times when people see obstacles in an organization, especially with bureaucracy, it becomes debilitating because they're like, well, it can't happen. And it's fascinating to me to watch when you say, well, why not? I just had an instance of this today. This morning, something happened, it came up. This person says, well, we can't do that anymore because of this. I said, well, why not? What does that have to do with this? That has nothing to do with what you just said. But they had already drawn some conclusions to it. So it's a lot of times just being able to see beyond that obstacle and say, well, how can I navigate through? Anyway, didn't mean to interrupt.
Your commentary is always welcome, Mr. Blue.
Okay.
Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Failing to create short-term wins. Declaring victory too soon. Really?
Mission accomplished.
Really? We haven't even started, and like, yeah, we're good. I'm good with this. Yeah, we're good. Neglecting to anchor changes firmly in the corporate culture. With this, and please correct me if I'm wrong. With this, they're saying that, for me, it's saying you got to start change it. Changes start at the top first, at the corporate level.
Either way, I think what it is that you have to push. We call it at our group here. We call it centers of gravity, where it becomes something that everybody's just drawn to because it's the way we do something. So if you don't push that center of gravity far enough away, it'll just come back to where it was. So usually I think you have to move 2 to 3 centers of gravity just to have one stay in place. And then you've shifted the whole, you've anchored that change firmly. But going back to declaring victory too soon, using your military example, 9/11, George Bush goes out, we bomb Afghanistan or Iraq, whatever, gets on the carrier, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Okay? We can see that some people might argue that whole attack was a failure of a type because we didn't really have a vision, because we declared victory. Like, why are we still there?
Yeah.
If mission's accomplished, what are we doing? And so whether, good, better, and different, it's almost like a glaring example of what happened here, of a leader going out and saying, we did it. And yet, did we do it? like that's not a good thing when everybody in the country's like, you sure we just mission accomplished what? So we had our first bombing raid. That was great, but what's going to happen next? To the point that we're still dealing with it today. I mean, we're talking about a decade later. And so that I think is just a great example of declaring victory too soon.
Especially with the Afghanis, because they've been at war since for decades now,
Centuries,
and
yeah.
decades now. So I mean, yeah, you can't do that. Okay. Approach to change.
Approaches.
Yeah, okay. Approaches to change and how changes happen. Directive. It's focused on the leader's rights to manage change and use of authority. So it's the leaders are like, okay, well, the leaders are like, okay, this is what we're doing. That's it. Military. That's it. This is what came down. That's it. Let's do it that way. All right. Can be undertaken quickly. However, this approach does not take into consideration the views or feelings of those involved or affected by the imposing change. We'll go to expert change. Expert change. This one is pretty much this is in a technical. This is the technical realm, to where computers. If your computer breaks, in the school you have Mr. Greer or Rich or Julio. Yep. I don't know him, so I mean, okay. So but this is led by a specialty manager or specialist project team or senior manager. So the changes happen immediately. Well, they happen rather quickly. Yeah, the changes are implemented really quickly.
I'm gonna have to cut you off in 3 minutes.
Okay, I'm done. Okay, educated. Everything's the same. Okay. All right, this is the America right now in all these wars. We're winning hearts and minds. We have to educate. We have to do this. We have to do that. No. We go over there, whoop their butt, and come back home. But see, this is
You're more about directed instead of educated.
Yes, no, because I don't like I mean, I understand this one. However, I don't like it. No.
Well, that's at least honest. You don't like it. That's good.
Okay. So, but this happens over time. Wait a minute. Excuse me. No. Okay. Okay. Participative. This happens when everybody is involved in the change making process. So it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time because you're in all these meetings and you gotta do surveys and stuff like that. It takes a lot of time and money. However, the benefits of the change are more likely to be supported